In this episode of Easy PPC Tutorials, I want to talk about a concept called volume chasing and why that is having a negative impact on your Google Ads, or why it can have a negative impact if you follow this kind of strategy. So, what I mean by volume chasing is basically going after keywords that can get you lots of impressions and clicks, but don't necessarily have a strong likelihood of converting into a lead or a sale. And I'll give you an example. So, I'm using SEMrush here to do some keyword research. Now, imagine that you have a business that is, operating on the North Shore. So, North Shore is part of Auckland. I'm based in New Zealand, so I'm just using a New Zealand example because it makes sense to me. And you do hot water cylinder repairs, so you just do that, or you're a plumber who also offers hot water cylinder repair. Doesn't really matter. The main thing is that this is one of your focus services in a target area: hot water cylinder repairs on the North Shore. Now, what would be a really good keyword to target with Google Ads? Probably something like this: hot water cylinder repairs North Shore. It's got the exact service you do, hot water cylinder repairs, and it's got the location, which is the North Shore as well. Now, you can see here with SEMrush that it's only reporting a low volume. It's giving a volume score of 30 for New Zealand. Now, my experience with any application or keyword research platform, whether it's SEMrush, Ahrefs, Google Keyword Planner, any of them, they don't always get the keyword volume right. It's more of a kind of relative measurement. So a keyword volume of 30 like this, if you found a keyword volume with 300, you'd probably find it's got, best part of 10 times the number of searches, but it's not necessarily 30 and 300 absolutely. It's just a relative score. But a search term like this, or a keyword like this, is likely to have a pretty low volume. It's still worth going after, and it's worth going after because this is the best kind of keyword you could target, in the sense that it's the person searching this is searching for the exact service you provide in the exact area you provide it. Now, what a lot of advertisers will do is they might target keywords like this, but they'll also say, oh, well, we're not getting many impressions and clicks if we just target that. So let's just target people searching for hot water cylinder, for example. So hot water cylinder has a way higher volume. That's like 100 times volume, basically, more than 100 times volume according to SEMrush. It's probably greater than that as a relative measure anyway. Um, and time again, when I audit and review Google Ads accounts where people have set up the advertising themselves, even though all they do is hot water cylinder repair in the North Shore, or driveway cleaning in New York City, or whatever the term might be, and the location in which you do it, so the service and or product and location, people will still go after these much broader, more generic terms that don't necessarily convey the same level of commercial intent, and they don't necessarily convey it in the right location either. And so the problem with doing this is that by chasing this volume, and the reason businesses do it and advertisers do it is because they think, oh, well, I want to get more people seeing my ads. I want to get more people clicking because we're not getting enough traffic from these very niche, very specific, very targeted keywords we're targeting, like hot water cylinder repairs North Shore. So we'll go after people searching hot water cylinder. But the problem with this is, even though there's far greater volume and actually cost per click is probably going to be lower, the issue is that the relative quality of this search is so much lower. If I search hot water cylinder, what am I really after? What am I really looking for? Am I actually looking for someone in the local area? Even if I'm based in North Shore and searching this, so I've got my location targeting set to that relevant geographic area. Somebody searching it, are they necessarily looking for a hot water cylinder repair? They might be looking to buy a new hot water cylinder, which maybe isn't something that you offer. You only repair existing ones. Or they might just be looking for general information about hot water cylinders. They might be looking, for information on how to do work themselves. They might be looking for information on different providers. And you can see here these different keyword ideas and questions and sort of related keywords and variations. And because of the way Google Ads works with the keyword match type system, it's entirely possible that if you advertised for a keyword like hot water cylinders, and you had, say, a phrase match keyword, or worse still, a broad match keyword, that you might have your ad show up for someone searching for something like how to replace hot water cylinder element NZ, which that's a DIY type keyword. Now, you might be able to convince someone who searches that and clicks your ad to actually pay for your service, but very, very likely that this search is like a DIY focused search. Or someone might be searching for something like, Ream hot water cylinder. Now, Ream's a brand. I don't know if it's an international one, but it's a popular one here in New Zealand. They do hot water cylinders. Once again, you the sort of commercial relevance and intent of someone just searching Ream hot water cylinder when you actually only do hot water cylinder repairs in one specific part of a specific location or a specific city, there's just too much of a disconnect. So even though you'd wind up getting a whole load more impressions and clicks on your ads and probably a lower cost per click and tons of volume, you're chasing this volume, the actual output is not what you need it to be. You're probably not going to see any great gain in terms of leads and sales, and you might actually wind up paying a whole lot more cost per lead. With Google Ads, there's often only a percentage of any given market that is searching for a product or service or solution in your local area or in your relevant service area at any given point in time. And my view is you're best to go after that small cohort most aggressively first and then look to expand. So if you've kind of tapped out all of the relevant keywords, for your local area that your business services or the area in which you ship products, if you're an e-commerce store, and you've gone after all of the best highest commercial intent terms and keywords, then maybe you can consider expanding your targeting and going after more of these kind of generic high volume searches that don't necessarily carry so much commercial value or intent. But at the same time, you might even want to look outside of search advertising and say, okay, we've done as well as we can with search advertising here. What about doing some Facebook advertising or radio advertising or any other type of awareness building advertising in your local area so that when someone has a problem with their hot water cylinder, they don't even bother going on Google. They know from some catchy radio jingle or from seeing you advertised elsewhere that your business is the one to go to. So, what I'm really trying to stress here is that it's better to have a smaller volume of impressions and clicks on your Google search ads, but from higher quality, better targeted keywords than it is to chase a whole lot of volume. It's a really common pitfall I see advertisers make time and time and time again. And what you find is that if you don't get this bit right, you'll have lots of activity in your account, but it's often driving clicks to your website that are unlikely to convert. And although you have these great top line metrics in terms of loads of people seeing your ads and lots of people are clicking, and even if you look at the search terms, you think, oh yeah, it's all about hot water cylinders and different types of hot water cylinders and prices of hot water cylinders, so it must be relevant. But it's not relevant if the only thing you do is repair hot water cylinders in a specific location. Same thing can apply to, say, a e-commerce or retail business. So if you sell running shoes for marathon runners, for example, then you want to be targeting people who are searching for men's marathon running shoes or women's marathon running shoes. But if you chasing volume, you might have keywords and effectively search terms that are people searching for things like how to run a faster marathon, or what sort of equipment do you need to run a marathon. Now, it might be possible, depending on how your e-commerce store is structured and set up, that you can actually convince someone who's looking for information on how to run a faster marathon that they need better shoes, and so they buy shoes from you. But that's more of a sort of like digital marketing funnel that you're going to have to build up over time, and you'd probably want to test that kind of concept with organic content first rather than paying for Google search clicks. So with your paid advertising, where you're paying per click, you really want to focus on those most relevant terms. Like imagine the bullseye on a dartboard. What is in that bullseye? Is it people searching for information related to your product or service in a kind of more vague and loose context? Or is it actually people looking for that specific product, service, or solution in the area that you provide it? Those are the keywords you want to chase first. So yeah, be careful with this concept of volume chasing. If you've got any questions on the topic, please do let me know. Feel free to give an example in the comments section and I'll give you some advice. Hopefully you find this helpful. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.